Have you ever done your first sprint triathlon and then thought, what's next? Where do I go from here? What do I do now? Well, I am here with, now I can say, fellow triathlete. We are following the baby triathlete's journey through triathlon this year. So I am here with Sharon of the Bib and Tierra podcast, and we are here to talk about her first sprint triathlon. She is graduated from a I want to do it to I've done it. And as I understand from both watching her text and listening to her own podcast, she signed up for at least two more. So, Sharon, for those who are just joining us now for the first time, do you want to give us a little introduction to yourself and kind of your background a little bit?
Sure. I'm Sharon, and I live outside in Northern Virginia, outside DC. I'm a friend of Jill for several years through Run Disney, and recently got into doing triathlons in addition to all the running I like to do.
And as I understand it, you've expanded recently into other sideways sports.
I got so into cycling that I was convinced by all the other cyclists that I met that I needed to get into gravel. So now I have two bikes, one being a gravel bike, and I'm kind of obsessed.
Yeah, from listening to you talk the last couple of weeks, there's a bit of, I don't know, obsession, but certainly enamored with gravel recently. And before we get into things, you are listening to the Be Fierce and Try podcast. And I am your host, Jill Bartholomew. And today we are talking about some learnings from our first sprint triathlon, maybe some what you do differently, and with at least two more events coming up, and I suspect that there's going to be more. I feel this way because I think we recently talked to you off of a very big hard ledge called the Happy Valley 70 point.
That didn't take much convincing to get me to not do that.
I don't know.
No, I just had to look at that elevation chart and I was like, okay, never mind. I don't want to do that just yet.
So let's talk about your recent sprint. So I was so happy that, John Addison and I got to come down and watch you.
It was so fun that you were there. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure it could go. I was like, is she happy we're here, or is it
Oh my God,
annoying
it was so awesome that you were there. No, it was so awesome that you were there. And it helped my family because they don't know what the heck they're doing. So they wouldn't have known how to even where to spectate from and where to move to see me at different points. They would have been lost and confused. So
I wasn't
the most. Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure because I think you were going into your second loop on the bike, and maybe it was the third. And I'm standing there with the megaphone, down the block, and
when I was like, "Where's my family?"
And yes, you scream, "Where's my family?" And I'm like, suddenly, this wave of guilt fell over me that I wasn't standing half a mile down with your family. I'm like, they're further down. They're further down. It's okay. Yeah. They're good. They're there.
They needed a pink megaphone so that I could see them because I definitely never missed you, but they told me that they saw me, but I didn't see them on the bike course. But they saw me, which is important. Yeah.
Don't feel bad. It happens all the time. Like when my family comes to spectate, sometimes I see them. Other times I only know where they were because of the video that they show me of me not seeing them.
Yeah. You're like, oh, cool. You were there. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So tell me about the triathlon.
It was amazing. It was so awesome. It started super early, not Run Disney early, but early.
Very few things start Run Disney early.
That's true. It started Run Disney, the race starts at 5. For this thing, the morning started at 5 versus 3 for Run Disney. So it was early. And so you had asked when the transition area opened. The race provided a pretty good detailed outline of events and timeline. So they said that the transition area was opening at 5. I had gone there to the transition area / race start finish the day before because that's where they had packet pickup. So I had sort of seen it and seen what it looked like. So I had a little bit of a sense of, but they didn't have the racks up at that time. So I wasn't exactly sure what part of the parking lot was going to be the transition. Right. So I kind of knew a little bit about where I knew where I could park. I knew what, where it was. So I was that much prepared. And I got there at 5 and we were communicating. So I knew you were on your way. And I went in uh, to the transition area, and I didn't understand that you had to rack your bike based on number. But there was a guy who I kind of befriended he wasn't the race director. He was like part of the organization that ran the race, but he was also participating. And I had met him the day before. And he was there super early too. So I
He
was
was
like kind of
he
connected
was the
with
guy
him.
that was a couple racks away from you?
Yes. And so I saw him, and like I had already talked to him, and he was sort of an organizer kind of. So I was like, what am I supposed to do? I thought we could just rack our bike wherever. And so many people did, because I saw a lot of people come in and then get confused and put their bike somewhere. And then somebody's like, no, you have to go to your number. So that was my first thing I learned. But my bike rack position, because we got there so early, I liked that I put it right on the end as opposed to like in the middle or the inside. I put it on the outside. I liked where it was. And the bike rack, because this transition area, it was like you swam in on one side and biked out the other, biked back in the way you biked out, and then ran out the other side. So it was like my transition area rack was right in the middle. And I kind of liked that. I don't know. It just sort of, I just thought it was actually probably what I would have picked anyway. It's like not on either
So
end.
I thought
Yeah.
this was fascinating. I heard you talk about that on your show a little bit,
Yes.
because like in large races, like national brands, like Ironman, T100, whatever, you'll see a sticker on the
Uh,
rack with your number on it, and you rack
like
your
the
bike.
very specific spot, not just the row.
Yes,
I
yes.
see. Uh-huh.
In local races, you sometimes see what you had expected, which is just a bunch of racks with
You can just pick a
maybe a
spot.
letter on the rack,
Yeah.
so you can remember what rack you're on, and then like you just pick where you want to put your bike.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah, less common is, I think I've only seen a couple times what you described, where they tell you what rack to be on, but not where on the rack.
Yeah. That's how it was.
Like
And
I would find that confusing, because like it's like halfway down the middle. It's like, here, you're going to be here, but
somewhere here.
somewhere
Yeah.
in this like 40-foot area.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I didn't really understand. I didn't know that till you just told me that those are different ways it can be. I actually think this was kind of ideal based on, because if I had gotten there at 5 a.m. and my exact spot had been labeled, I would be like, why am I here an hour and a half early when this spot would be mine in an hour or two? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
so
Yeah, yeah.
I think I liked that I could pick where on the rack I wanted to be and get there before everybody else was there and before the rack was super crowded. So I like that. But I definitely saw a lot of people. I mean, a few. I saw it happen a few times just when I was setting up my transition, of like people going to the wrong rack and then being like, oh, sorry, I didn't know. Like, it was confusing. And while there was a lot of information in the pre-race packet or whatever, that specific piece of information was not in it. So because
Mm.
I read that thing very thoroughly, and it didn't say anything about the numbered racks. So it was a surprise.
Yeah, I think in all of these races, there's still, I mean, they try their best on these packets, and like that race, this is what, the 20th edition of it, something like
30.
that.
Oh, you're right. 20 years. Yeah.
And like, so they've had a while to iterate on on the
Get
information
it
that's in it.
honed in. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But still, and you know, even like organizations like Ironman and T100, their athlete guides, you still see like gaps like that,
Errors or things
assumptions
missing.
that people have under different information, different understandings that maybe shouldn't be assumed, because especially like if you're coming from another state or another country, or like
Mhm.
Europe versus the US, like not everything is going to be the same all the time.
Well, and I think almost especially, it'll be interesting to see how this compares at Philly, because that's the next one, is the Philly distance triathlon or the Philly women's triathlon, whatever it's called.
The women's Philadelphia Triathlon.
That one, because it's also a sprint. But I feel like sprints, this one had data or whatever, like they gave stats, and it was like a significant portion of people's first triathlon. And so I feel like, and sprints are what most wise people do for their first one. And so, like, if you know you're going to have a lot of people who've never done this before, wouldn't it make sense to give a more detailed packet? You know what I mean? Like, give as much,
Oh, yeah.
like ridiculous amounts of information. Like, another thing I didn't know, and obviously other people didn't know because other people didn't do it. I asked you, is they gave me a swim cap, and I usually wear a silicone one, and this one was like whatever, rubber. And I was like, do I actually have to wear this?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, you're supposed to. And most people did, but everyone didn't. And it was definitely not in the packet.
Yeah, I noticed that. So different organizations have different rules. Generally, at a minimum, they want you to wear the swim cap that's
Yeah.
provided
Because sometimes
because
it's the group you're in or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes it's different color coded for the age group you're in. Some races, like Ironman does this, where it's a different color based on gender. Uh,
Mhm.
so like on
Pink.
Sun
How cute.
yeah, on Sunday standing at Happy Valley, but it's an interesting choice of colors.
Mm.
Like Ironman is like this neon green for men,
Yeah.
is like this bright, bright pink, which I have no issue with. Pink's
I
like
would think you
my
wouldn't. Yeah.
brand color for the women, but then there's other caps mixed in. So like I also have a blue cap for Ironman Foundation and a gold cap for AWA.
So what are you supposed to wear?
Right. So like
Yeah.
I'm allowed to wear the gold, the blue, or the pink.
Well, then you should wear the pink because you're you.
Well, it depends on the race. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm an Ironman Foundation ambassador, so they really want me to wear the blue one. But sometimes I'm like, no, I'm gonna wear the pink one.
Because it
And
matches your tri suit so well.
right. And the
Uh-huh.
gold one, I am not past wearing my all world athlete cap to the pool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
If in case somebody would know what it means. Yes.
Yeah. But like local races, sponsors actually pay a lot of money for those,
Yeah.
sponsorships. And those caps are not as cheap as you'd think they are.
Probably not 800 of them. No.
Yeah, like, we
Uh-huh.
had looked into doing that for one of the local races here, and they were like $2 a cap or something, which doesn't sound like a lot until you've got 1,000 of them to buy.
Thousands of them. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, I was surprised that they were allowing
Yeah,
uh
they were loosey goosey about it.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
A lot of races will not. They will be like, "Oh, you've got the wrong cap. Here's the correct one," and
Yeah.
they will hand you at the swim start the correct one to wear.
Yeah. So that was a surprise too. And let's see. The thing that was also tricky is the swim was a pool swim.
Mhm.
And it was so and the numbers were based on your predicted swim time that you put in when you registered. And I registered for this as I register for most things impulsively at like I think register impulsively late from what I've heard you say, like late night
Yeah, like 2 in
impulsive.
the morning.
Yeah, like 2 in the morning impulsive registering. I do it early morning. Like, I get up in the morning and the house is quiet and I'm just scrolling on my phone and I'm thinking big thoughts and I'm having dreams and suddenly I'm signing up for stuff that I just have no sense of it all seems like a good idea. So I signed up for this some random morning like that and I just put in whatever. I think I put in 2 minutes per 100 because I was like, "Ish, I don't know." And then the same guy who was like the organizer had talked to me and he was like, "Yeah, like half the field puts that." And I was like,
But in fairness,
yeah.
if this was an open water swim,
Yeah.
that might be more accurate, right? But a
Yes.
pool swim, is gonna be lower.
Yeah. Well, and in theory, but actually my time per 100 was ended up being longer than that, but we'll get there. So like so
Having witnessed your swim, I have a good idea why that
I
was.
know you sure do. But but I talked to him and he was like, "Yeah, like it's going to because I was just nervous. So I was just talking
Mhm.
he had done the race numerous times and he said that he had put in a minute 55 to be seated ahead of the 2 minute people because he's like everybody's going to put in 2 minutes and most of those people are anything goes. So I was like, well, I actually swim faster than 2 minutes for 100 in a pool typically. Like if I'm especially, I mean, if I'm doing if I'm trying to swim fast, I can do 135. So I was like, I'm not going to do that in a 400, but like faster than 2 minutes. And he was like, well, you should talk to the race director. So I went up to the race director and I just said, this is my first one. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I put 2 minutes in and I'm actually a little bit faster than that. And it took her 0 seconds. She was like, oh, you are. She was like, oh, then you shouldn't be with the 2 minute people. That is kind of chaos. She was like, go in in the 300s. And I was like, okay. And she was like, if anybody stops you, just say Jen said yes. I was like, cool. So that
Yeah,
took
I
no
was I
time.
was having known this information ahead of time,
Yeah.
I was watching you try to seed
Uh-huh.
yourself in, and I was
Uh-huh.
waiting for someone to challenge you, and it didn't look like anyone gave you a hard time.
I mean, I was proactive because anytime there was somebody there that was like working it, I said, I know I'm in the force, but Jen said that I could move up. And as soon as I said her name, people were like, okay,
So you're the name
okay.
drop.
Well, I mean, she's the one director of the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing, so it was fine. So I went in like with the 300s instead of the 400s, but that out of 800. So I went in like in the beginning, but it was crazy at the start. I mean, you were there, you were on the deck kind of spectating, but where the athletes were, it was like a jam-packed gaggle of people because it's just like a swim pool deck. It's not that big. And then they were funneling people down one side of the pool to the other. And they were like calling out the numbers, I think by 100. I think it was like anybody
It
0
was
to 100, then
yeah, it
100
was
to
by 100.
200. And then they were letting people in the pool like two at a time. And then the swim was a 400, 50-meter laps, like in a snake. And the swim was weird. I was like not that nervous because I could swim a 400. Like that's not a
Mhm.
very long swim. Like I was not worried about like not being able to do it, but it was very trafficky. That's what I would say. It was trafficky.
Okay, so
Yeah.
let's pause there for a second.
Okay.
So, beginners. So, for our listeners, if you've never done a triathlon, super common. Most places that I'm aware of have a sprint like this with a pool swim somewhere within a few hour drive, at least once a year. Of course, it's not everywhere, but there's several of them around the country, and it feels like it's super safe, right? Because it's a pool. You can probably stand most 50-meter pools you can stand up in the middle of and you get your head out of water. And I saw a few people do that.
Walking. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right. Yeah. I saw some people walking it, which I
Uh-huh.
found interesting.
Yeah.
And you've got a line, so you know you're swimming straight.
You
You
can
can,
see the
it's
bottom. You
clear
can see
water. You can see the
yeah.
bottom. So, like, the open water panics tend not to happen because you're in a swimming pool. But it's not as easy as hopping in your local swimming pool and swimming a couple of lengths.
No, it's definitely not.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you have a few things to deal with that you don't when you go visit your local swimming pool.
Yeah, I mean, I think because I've been a runner forever and ever, and I know that what's true about running for me is that, like, in a race, I just run faster than I think I'm running, and I'm capable of running faster than I can run training. Just because, like, even when I'm training intervals or whatever, like, there's no excitement, like, there's nothing pushing me. So, like, I can be like, this is as hard as I can go. And then I go in a race and I'm like, nope, I can go harder than that. So I had no idea what to expect for swimming, but I was definitely downplaying, like, my ability or desire to go fast. And so what was funny too is in the line when I was getting up to it, there was this kid, I don't know, he was maybe 20, like kid to me, this guy who had also moved
You've
up
reached
from
that
his
age.
seating. I know, right? His number was in the 600s. And I was like, oh, you're moving up too. He was like, yeah, they messed up my time or whatever. And he was like this tall, athletic looking guy who was half my age. So
Mhm.
when we're walking up to the thing, because the race director and this guy had also said to me, or the guy I was talking to had also said, put yourself on the left side because they dropped swimmers two at a time, left and right side of the lane. And they were
Mhm.
like, because that way you'll be on the left side, which is like where you can pass people if you're a little bit faster. So we're getting up to the thing. And I said to this, because we were like breaking into groups of two, and I was going to be next to this guy, this 20-year-old guy. And I was like, oh, you should be in the left because I'm sure you're a faster swimmer than me, because he had like said he didn't get put in the right seed. So I'm thinking, oh, he's a real swimmer. Like he knows how fast he is. And also I could be his mom. So he's definitely faster than me. And so the thing goes and we like you hop in the water. Like you don't dive, you like hop and then you push off the wall. And so we hop in the water, we push off the wall. I'm expecting this guy to like fly. And I just like smoked him. I was like, wait a minute. I thought you were young and fast.
So,
And
what you
so
mean to say is they got his time correct and he was
probably, yeah, I think
pulling
he had his
himself
time
ahead.
correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I definitely was like, he was not swimming fast. And I was like, okay, so don't judge a book. And also, then the rest of the swim, it was two things. First, there was like crowding, especially getting close to the walls, but sometimes just randomly, like where there would be like people swimming two across and you couldn't pass. And sometimes a couple times the person on the left side, so the passing side, was like doing breaststroke. And so you would have to, if it got really crowded, sometimes I had to get to the wall and then I could kind of pass because then like they would like I get round them like around the corner. But I definitely had to slow down. Like I did breaststroke a little bit at one point because I was like, I might as well. Like I can't go any faster than this, so I might as well just chill out. Maybe I could have walked because I saw some people do that, but
Yeah.
it was definitely not like a free and open swim. It was like, okay, there's people everywhere getting in the way, which was, I mean, it was fine. It's a short part of the race, but it was a little chaotic is maybe the best word for it.
Yeah, and that's one of the challenges with pool swims is they usually do start 2 or 3 at a time in a pool swim. I did notice the timing was a little different than I was used to. I think they were manually timing you guys when they started.
Mhm.
Most of the races I've done, even pool ones, you still get the beeps, like beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, well, and I didn't understand how they were doing this. I think they were putting it into their phone or something
Mhm. Yeah, they
because
were.
yeah, because you have a timing chip on your ankle. So how do they? But there was no timing mat, obviously. So like, how does that work?
Yeah, like the one in Philadelphia
Yeah.
that you're gonna do, that one will have a wire at the pool
Okay.
edge,
Neat.
and there'll be cattle chutes, at least in the past there has been, and there'll be a wire at the pool edge, and you'll hear the beeps. It's, I think, 3 or 4, like, low pitch beeps and then a high pitch beep, and you go
And
on
you
the high
go with the
pitch
high
beep,
pitch. Okay.
but your time doesn't start until you cross that wire.
Okay.
But otherwise, it'll be the same as what you
Yeah.
experienced.
You hop in and you go and you snake.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I
Hmm.
said something to you after the race about your swim.
Yeah. You told me I should have been more aggressive. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I'm a,
Well,
I can be aggressive on the bike or in the run where I feel pretty confident in the water. Like, nah, I think it's weird. You're also like
yeah.
touching people that are barely wearing anything. Like to be aggressive, you're like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
there
know.
were a
Uh-huh.
few questionable choices in outfits
Yeah,
for the race, but I think this is, like, the difference between, like, an experienced open water triathlete versus, like, first time is when you put someone who's experienced, especially in, like, large races, into that environment, they're gonna swim around, over, under, and through the other people in the lane. So, like, 2 people wide, to me, sounds like there's 3 people's worth of passing space
yeah.
in that lane versus, like, your first time doing it, you're like, "It's too wide, 3 feels tight," and I saw, like, there were a few
People who
places
did
I
pass.
saw you where I was like, "Oof." Lane etiquette was not
Yeah,
really a thing.
yeah. I
But
mean,
so I
if
was wondering, like, did they have when they did the race briefing, did they have a conversation about lane etiquette?
no. All they said was that you stay to the right and pass on the left. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And so, like, they said try to stay to the right and if you're passing people, pass on the left. That's really all that they said.
yeah, and you see that in the big races too. They'll say that, and then, like, even out on the bike,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
the faster cyclist is sometimes screaming, you know
Yeah. We'll get
I
to
know
that.
one I know one who is
Uh-huh.
is known for screaming at the top of her lungs, "Get over or pass."
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I would imagine, because by the time I did this, I have been swimming pretty regularly for, I don't know, like 6 months.
At
So
least.
maybe, yeah, something like that. Like I've been swimming for a while and I'm pretty confident as not like about being fast, but about being able to swim, like, like fine. And so I wasn't off put, but I would imagine if you were like a nervous swimmer, that environment, because it's a lot of first timers, so it's like a
Yeah,
lot of people who do triathlon aren't really necessarily much swimmers. And so I feel like it would be like it was intimidating for me. And the other thing that happened to me too is I definitely like was like stressed or anxious in the swim, and that made it hard to swim because I was like out of breath, and not because I was swimming so hard, but because I was just nervous. And so then I felt like I had to breathe too much, and like I couldn't really, because I swim better when I'm relaxed, and I wasn't
mhm.
relaxed. And so I saw some of the video and I was like, oh my God, I'm terrible. Like, what am I doing? Like, I'm breathing so wrong.
No, like,
Yeah.
I think I said this to you
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
had that same comment was it's really common, whether it's more common in open water because it's a more stressful situation, but you've got the adrenaline going, the anxiety, and now you're gonna go swim where, by the way, you have to hold your breath. And
Right.
so you've got, like, this environment where you're naturally having, like, a higher,
Yeah.
heart rate to start with,
Yeah.
and, some panic sets in,
Yeah.
and, that's normal,
Yeah.
and I think you experienced that in open water as well. It's like
Totally.
it's normal. The only thing you can really do about it is just kind of take a chill for a second and let yourself calm down and then continue on, which
Yeah.
is hard to do in a pool.
It's hard to do at a pool. It's hard to do when there are people everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was actually, to be honest, a little bit grateful for the traffic at times because then I could just do breaststroke and relax. Because
Hmm.
breaststroke to me is just like it's like a breather, like it's relaxing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it was nice to just, I think I was calm probably by lap 6, like
Mhm.
by then I was sort of feeling like, okay, but that was more than halfway before I felt calm enough.
Yeah, I could see the
Uh,
frustration though at times. You'd come
yeah.
up on a group of people and you'd be like sighting.
Uh huh.
And it's like we don't think about sighting in a pool, but in this kind of environment, you kind of need
Like,
to.
can I get around these people? I
Yeah,
don't know. Uh
I
huh.
see you sight and take a stroke and then sight again, and I'm like, oh, she's
Annoyed. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
it was just tricky. But people were so nice. And so like even at the walls, for the most part, like if you were right behind, like this happened a few times, people would be like, oh,
Mhm.
go, 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 go. You know what I mean? Like if you were right behind somebody. So like I got ahead of people a lot at the walls, but then you would just run into the next group of people.
Yeah, I did see something
Yeah.
that I hadn't seen before, and I think maybe it's, like, race specific, like, other races that have a pool swim I've seen, there'd be, like, guards at each end just, like,
Mm,
making sure people move on, but I saw a handful of women at the end of one of the lanes just kinda having happy hour there.
the athletes?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, they're
weird.
in the water just kinda chilling out,
Taking a break.
taking a
Just taking
break,
a break.
like
Okay.
100 yards from the end.
Now that is the weirdest thing I ever heard. Obviously, I didn't
Yeah.
notice because I was just trying to get out of that pool as
No, no,
fast as
you actually
possible.
swam past 2 of them.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't paying that much attention. I was just like, "Get me to the end of this thing, please."
Right, well, you're in the
Yeah,
race,
uh-huh,
where
yeah.
I have the, for me,
Yeah, you can see the whole pool.
unique position
Uh-huh,
where I'm like, I'm not used to seeing it from this vantage
uh-huh,
point. I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
that's interesting." There there were a few time things that I saw where I was like, "Oh, that's different. I hadn't seen
yeah,
that before."
yeah. It was definitely a good mix of clearly, like, newcomers or people who were not
Yeah,
didn't really know what they were
yeah.
doing. But everybody from start to finish was very nice, which was helpful.
Yeah, local races tend to be that way. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
niceness, except for maybe, like, the handful of people that are, like, really at the pointy end or think they're at the pointy end that are a little obnoxious, but even then, they're usually not too bad.
yeah, I don't think I encountered any of them, at least not directly.
No,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Alright, so
Mhm.
you had what to me was very fascinating transition experience in that your
Oh, the
T1 and
times?
T2 were, like, literally down to the second the
The
same
same
time. I've
time.
never seen that before, and
I
they were pretty quick transitions too.
Yeah, I was, surprised because I wasn't paying attention to the time at all, but,
Mhm.
I expected because of I did a couple of practice transitions, like a couple of bricks where I kind of but all it was I biked and then I came in my house and I had, like, my stuff laid out and then I tried to change and, like, go out and run. Every time I did that, it was like 4 or 5 minutes. So I was like, "Okay, I guess that's how long a transition takes me." But once again, underestimating the power of the race adrenaline and
Mhm.
the environment and also the lack of distraction by like, "Hi, dog," and like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to the bathroom because it's right
And
here."
not having to carry your bike into a house.
True. Yes, that's different. And so, yeah, they were each like 2 minutes and 22 seconds. It was also not only were they the same time, but they were like a fun time of like 2:22. I don't know. It was just funny.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
when we saw the second
You were like,
G2
"How did
being the
she do
same time,
that?
well, at first I was like, because
Did
there
they
were
make a
no
mistake?"
intermediate timing
Uh-huh. Yeah.
marks on this race. I said to
What do you
John, I'm
mean
like,
intermediate timing marks?
like on a race that there'll be
Oh, like, yeah, 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 I get
timing
it. Like,
points
there wasn't
along the
something
way.
like, yeah, she got through the 3 mile or the 5 mile or whatever, yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Like,
got
I
it,
was
mhm.
expecting there to be on the bike, like, at least one
Yeah, there
at every
wasn't.
lap, and there wasn't.
No.
But, yeah, I saw the timing, and I'm like, "Did she DNF?"
Yeah, no.
It's like, "Did it just take her T1 time and call it a
Replace it?
day?"
No, yeah. No, I just magically did the exact literally down to the
Yeah,
second
yeah. I was
transition
like,
for
"That's
both of them.
cool and weird."
I know, so weird, I don't know, random, but yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah.
And I
Alright.
wasn't like the transitions I was going fast. I mean, I was hurrying, but I wasn't like rushing. Like I dried off my face. I put my socks on. I got, I was being the whole race. I was being, well, not the swim we talked about, but like the bike in particular and the transitions. I was like focused mostly on like being safe. You know what I mean? Like paying attention to the situation and like being careful that I was like doing what I needed to do.
And you put socks in.
And I put socks on because I know finish time is worth blisters to me. I just don't care that much. And
Oh,
so
it's too short a race to get blisters. Come on.
I could, it's not worth it. And it's also like the nothing new on race day. And there's no way I'm
Yeah.
ever going to run on purpose without socks on. Like, no,
Mm.
I don't know how long it takes you to put socks on, but it takes me like 10 seconds. Like, it is not worth it to
Well,
me.
for me, it's like it's not the putting on of the socks, it's putting on the socks over wet feet.
I had a towel right there. They just boop, boop, dry, boop, boop, dry feet.
All right, you must have like Teflon coated feet or something.
Maybe. I don't know. I didn't
Mine
find it
doesn't
to
work
be.
that way. It's like boo boo, and it's like, oh, it's still damp.
Yeah, mine were fine. Mine were fine. I was able to put them on pretty quickly
Oh,
and then get on the bike, which was fun.
yeah.
That was my favorite part, was the bike.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
surprised. Like the exit of T1 was actually kind of mean.
Mean? Oh, because of the like hill
It
and then
went
the
straight
turn.
into a hill, like not a huge hill, but it's still a hill.
Yeah, it went into a little hill and then a turn, and then the turn merged into the
Yeah,
loops
but
because it was
the
3
mountain
loops.
line was
Yeah.
on a hill.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, it was a baby hill. It was a little hill. It wasn't too bad.
It's baby hill, but it's still a hill.
Little tiny baby hill. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, we saw some people struggle with getting moving.
Mhm. Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
curious. So when you racked your bike, did you pay attention to what gear you had the bike in?
I don't think I did, no.
Okay, because you seem to be in a reasonable gear for the start. We saw a lot of folks
They were on a really
just
hard gear.
yeah, they were in like one of
Mhm.
like the hardest 2 or 3 gears
Yeah.
and just had to stop,
Couldn't
switch
go.
gears, and then get going.
Yeah, I don't think I paid attention to it, but what I do know is that I am generally conscious of finishing a ride with it in like a high middle, like a not the easiest, but like a couple down from that. Like I usually stop my ride there on purpose so that it'll restart at that point. So I think that's where it's where I leave it most of the time. So I think it was there, but I didn't think about it particularly when I was racking.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like every time you rack, like just like check
Check.
what gear
Yeah,
you're
that's
in.
smart. Mhm.
Yeah, because like usually the mount point is on a flat surface, but
Yeah.
even
Even
if
on a
it's
flat though, you don't want to be in the like hardest gear. That's not the best way to start. Yeah.
exactly, because you need
Yeah.
to get some momentum, and
Yeah.
that's when even at world championships, like the 70.3 world championships in Marbella, the men and women were separated, so I got to spectate the men's race,
Neat.
and, we saw a number of guys who were just in the wrong gear, and they couldn't get started, and, like, this is, the best of the best in the world, right?
Yeah.
They qualified to be there, and they started and then fell.
Geez, that would be embarrassing.
Well, yeah.
I
Yeah,
only
I
fall
don't
in front of you. I don't fall in front of anyone else.
I actually forgot that you fell in front of me, but
I didn't. That was the one and only time.
yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
like,
Mhm.
it doesn't phase me, it's
Yeah.
a thing that
It's like a
happens
thing
in
that
our sport.
happens. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Alright, so the bike, it was a, what, 3-loop race, I think?
3 loops, 3 4-mile loops, so 12 miles total. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was like, it was hilly. It was a couple of good downhills, a couple few medium hills, and then one pretty hard hill up. And then one turn, there were 3 turns. So it was a loop that was basically a triangle. So there were 3 turns, and one of them was sharper than the 90-degree turn, and that was at the bottom of a not too super steep downhill, but a downhill. And then
M'kay.
the other one was, so there were 3. That was the first one. The second one was a slight uphill, but not a bad uphill, and then like a regular
Mhm.
90-degree turn. And then the third one, the turn wasn't a problem. It was a 90-degree turn, but it was, or close to, but it was like at the top of the worst hill in the whole course. And so that one, the turn was fine once you got to it, but getting to it, it was the one part. And the guy with the guy that I had kind of connected with, he warned me about this. He was like, because I was nervous because I was like, there's 800 people. It's 4 miles 3 times, but a 4-mile stretch of road, and 800 people in theory could be on it ish, like at the same time. And so I was like, how crowded is it going to be? And he said, it's going to be fine except for that part. And he was exactly right. Like the rest of the course, there was rarely a time that I had trouble passing. A couple times that you would have to like kind of be like, okay, get over, but a couple little moments like that. But for the most part, free road, no problem passing. And I pretty much passed the whole time. Like I was pretty much going faster than everybody. And then at this point, when you were getting into this corner or this turn at the top of this hill, suddenly it was like bikes everywhere. And there were people on the right hand side. And it wasn't that bad of a hill, like in my mind, but it was a hill. And so people would be on the right hand side walking their bikes. There was always like a lane of walkers.
Wait,
And so,
really?
but
On that course, there were walkers?
oh my God, every time I went around, there was like a lane of, and then because there were people walking and it was basically as wide as one lane of a road. So it wasn't that like one lane of a 2-lane road. It wasn't
Mhm.
that wide. And so because people were walking, then very slow people were passing. So then like there would be people passing that were going really slow, like right all the way on the left. So there was like, it was very tricky. Like you had to slow, I had to brake going up a hill because there was like people in
In there,
front of me.
that's super frustrating, isn't it?
And I was like, okay, this is tricky.
Yeah.
But it was only like, it wasn't very far. It was just kind of like aggravating. You just wanted to like get past it. But once you got past it, it was clear again. And then you were
But
good. So that happened
from
3
a
times.
I mean, we worry about things like this from a competitive standpoint, but like the good news on a competitive standpoint is everybody has to deal with that same thing.
True. Yes. Like if it's a problem for you, it's a problem for everybody.
Right. Even
Yeah.
the fastest guy off the course still had to deal with it on at least one loop.
Yes. Maybe not his first loop, but after that. Yeah.
Yeah, probably not his
Uh-huh.
first loop because he was
Yeah.
probably in front, but
Yeah.
by the same point on a second loop, he was definitely not
Yeah. Yeah.
the only person on the course there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. So, so the course it was fun because I like hills because then you can go fast on the downhills and I like doing uphills. It was fun.
So it's funny. You had the first loop when you went past us, which was somewhat on a hill. And it didn't look like a bad hill, but like you said, like there were people struggling. And we were kind of like towards the top where it plateaued. There was a number of people where I said in my out loud voice, I'm like, it's a race. Just keep pedaling.
Just go. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
Uh-huh.
John was laughing at me and the guy next to me because I'm like through the megaphone, I'm like, just keep pedaling, just keep pedaling.
Keep
I'm like,
going.
yeah, you reached the top of this little
Uh-huh.
mini hill. Don't
Yeah.
take a
Keep
break.
going.
Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. I mean, that was also, and to be expected, like, because it was such a beginner friendly race. And so,
Yeah.
like, there were people, like the people who won and like the people who were really
Okay.
competitive were really good. But then there were people on mountain bikes and sneakers. There were some kids, like big kids. I think you had to be 13, but there were some like 13-year-olds. There were some like, it was a range. So there
The
were,
kids were rocking it, man.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
like the people I'm talking about, like I remember this one dude, he's on like a track
A
speed
good
concept,
bike.
which is not a
Yeah.
cheap bike
No.
with a disc in the rear and a large profile
Well, now that's
wheel
weird.
up front and an aero helmet. And I'm like, dude,
That's
if
just
you're
weird.
investing this much in the sport, it wasn't for this race.
Maybe he
Like
was with
you got to be able
somebody.
to do more hills than this. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. That was, I mean, you're talking about the hill right after you mounted the bike, right? Like that part.
The one where I was standing,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
When I
the
saw
end
you.
of the loop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
wasn't
that wasn't bad at
huge.
all.
No.
That wasn't bad at all. That hill was
Yeah,
nothing.
every time you pass us, you
Uh-huh.
had the big smile on your face the first loop.
Yeah.
It's a little bit less the second loop.
Yeah.
The third one, I'm like, she's ready for this to be done.
No, I would have gone 6. I loved it. I loved the bike. It was so much
Yeah.
fun. And then we went and biked for another hour, 2 hours, whatever we did after that. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I mean,
into a headwind.
into a headwind. The only thing that I didn't like was again, that little bit of crowding,
Mhm.
but it was fine. It was fine. It was really fun.
Awesome. And then
And I did
you
not. Uh-huh.
had an identical transition somehow to the first one.
Now I'm going to see if I can replicate it. All my transitions in my entire triathlon career need to be 2 minutes and 22 seconds because that's
Yeah,
going to be
good
my
luck with that.
hallmark. It's going to be
Good
my
luck with
calling
that.
card. I do 2-minute, 22-second
Yeah,
transitions
most of the
exactly
pros
all
aren't
the
even
time.
that fast.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess in an Ironman, you need to like breathe and take a you need to like
Well, so one of
lube
the
up yourself.
problems
Yeah.
yeah, one of the problems
Mhm.
with transition times is it includes all of the time from the time you get out of the water
It depends on the transition
to
area. It depends how
yeah,
big it is.
so,
Totally. Yeah,
like,
this one was really small.
I had a, I think, 5-minute, maybe it was a 7-minute transition time at yeah, it was a 7-minute transition time, it's like 7:14 at Jacksonville, but that included 3/4 mile run from the water
Yeah.
to the bike.
Yeah, that's why I won't be able to replicate it actually now that I tell you say that because I was thinking about Chicago, which is the one I'm doing in August, and it has like because it has pretty detailed information, and I think there you have to go like a half mile out of the water to get to the transition
Yeah.
area,
Yeah, and
And
the
so,
one
but
you're
but
doing
again, everybody does, you know what I mean? So it doesn't
yeah,
matter,
exactly.
but
Yeah, that's the thing, it's
also,
like the
yeah,
absolute time doesn't matter as much as, like, how does yours
relative.
compare to others because,
Yeah,
you know,
that makes
everyone's
sense.
dealing with the same situation.
Yeah,
The only thing is, like, when you start to do, like, T100 and Ironman races, and even, I guess, maybe USAT nationals, the pros sometimes have a different transition setup than the age groupers that results in a shorter run.
mm, well, lucky them.
Right? Yeah. The, one of my athletes was with me this weekend at Happy Valley, and she saw the pro setup, and she's
Uh-huh.
like, "Well, isn't that nice? They have bins for their stuff, and they can rack
How
by their
nice.
handlebars instead of their
Uh-huh.
seat." And I'm like, "Yeah, yep, these are all advantages. These are how you get shorter
Yeah.
transition times."
All you gotta do is get really good.
Right, right. Like, whereas an age grouper, anything that you were wearing that you want to keep, so like your goggles, swim skin, wetsuit, whatever, you have to put them in a bag, and that takes time versus like just dumping them in a bin.
To put them in a bag? Come on.
Well,
That's annoying.
yeah, because this was a point to point race. The bag gets transported.
But do you have to do that in a not point to point race if there's one transition?
Ironman branded races,
Yeah.
the full distance, yes, because run and bikes are in bags, and the way it works is like what you were wearing in the swim goes in the bike bag, what you're wearing on the bike goes in the run bag.
Does the stuff that you're going to wear in the bike have to be in the bike bag at the transition area?
Yeah, so for the full distance races, you have to usually deposit the bags either that morning
Mhm.
or the night before.
Mhm.
And so your bike bag will have everything you need for the bike. The run bag, same thing for the run. And then you bring with you what you need for the swim.
And so when you say deposit, does that mean you just give it to somebody and then it shows up at your transition area, or do you go to your
So
transition area and put it there?
you don't actually have a transition area
What?
in full distance. You will pick up your bag from either a rack or they'll be laid sequentially on the ground. Like most races, they'll be sequentially on the ground in rows
By
and
your
they'll be
number?
by your number. Yeah. You pick that up, then you go to the change tent, do your, do your transition in the change tent. Then you take your bag that now has all of
Your swim
your
stuff.
stuff from the previous sport.
Yep.
You deposit that usually in a bin,
Yeah.
sometimes at your rack, usually in a bin, and then you get your bike and go to the mountain line.
Jeez Louise.
It,
This is triggering all of my trust issues that get involved when I have to, like, check a bag at the airport. I'm like, "I'm just
yeah,
giving you stuff, and I'm trusting it's gonna be where you said it's gonna be because I don't know. This stuff's important."
right. Whereas
Woo!
70.3 is going to be generally more like what you're used to or
For,
what
like,
you
an
saw this
Olympic.
time with the sprint,
Yeah.
where you, in a 70.3, you often have space at your
An
bike
area.
to put all of your stuff at.
Mhm.
As long as it's not point to point. Point to
Yeah,
points, you don't have that luxury, you have to deal with the
that
bags.
makes sense. I mean, that all makes sense, and I assume when you talked about take your bag to the change tent, that means that in theory because if I ever did I won't, but if I ever did a full, there is no chance on earth that I want to run a marathon with a pad in my bike shorts. I don't care how thin it is, I don't care how it's supposed to be fine, like, no. I'm changing
Yeah,
into regular running shorts that have no
I mean,
chafy pad.
I have 2 comments on that.
Uh-huh.
1, by the time you're off the bike, you don't care. You don't
Mm.
notice it, and 2,
You
you
have
don't
to run a
you
marathon, Jill, you have to run a marathon
yeah,
now.
but you if you have a tri-suit on, and
I know, a
I'm not
tri-suit.
talking like a
Thin.
cycling skin suit, but
Right, right.
an actual tri-suit that's made for long course triathlon, you're not gonna notice it. Actually, I find to chafe less with that than bike shorts
Well, I'm gonna have to
or
get the
run
one that
shorts.
I'm gonna have to get the one for the team that we're gonna be on because or the club, whatever you wanna call it. I'm gonna have to get that one and see because I'm sure you picked the best brand of the nicest whatever, because the one that I had was just like a cheap Zoot brand one that I got like on sale. And it was fine for a 5K, but it was definitely not like it wasn't very well fitted. I don't know how to explain. Here's how I can
Yours,
explain it.
your tri-suit
The
was too
girls
big
will
for them.
understand. The girls will understand. So
Mhm.
the bike patty part, like in the front, was like too far forward. So it was like kind of bulging out, kind of like it wasn't flush to my body. And so it was like a little bit just awkward. It just didn't fit
Mhm.
perfectly. And if I had to run more than a 3 mile run in it, I would be like, I don't like this.
Yeah. So having witnessed that and noted
Yeah.
in my head what I saw
Yeah.
is because your tri-suit was too big for you.
It was pretty tight.
So the problem is like when they're dry, they fit
Yeah.
tightly, but by the time you're out of the pool or
Yeah.
the swim, everything has moved around and it turns out it's not
Yeah.
actually as tight as you thought it was.
I bet you're right. Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe
Yeah.
I have one other one. I think I'll wear my other one for the Philly try. It's short sleeves, not sleeveless,
Mhm.
but it's definitely tighter. I definitely got it carefully with the sizing that they suggested, and it definitely when I got it and tried it on, I was like, "Oh my god, this thing feels tight." So maybe that'll work
Well,
better.
yeah, and like if it feels like it's close but tight, like just pull everything up.
Yeah,
'Cause, like, a lot of times it's, like, pulling down on your shoulders, and, like, we generally say for a race fit, you if you're in between sizes for a race
yeah,
fit, you go
size
with the
down.
smaller size. For a "comfort fit," quote, unquote,
Yeah,
you go with the larger size.
it's reminding me of swimsuits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's
Yeah, it's
like
very
when you're on
similar.
swim team, it's like you get the bigger one to practice, and then it gives you
Mhm.
drag, and then you wear the one that you can barely put on, and 3 of your teammates have to help you pull on your body, and
Yeah.
then that's for racing. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, the only problem is, like, if you're tall, then you have, like, the torso length issues to deal
Yeah.
with, which
Yeah.
are not always fun issues.
I don't have that issue, so I'm good. Yeah.
Well, you're not that short.
I'm not short, but I'm not tall. I'm like
Yeah,
average.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
So, okay.
Mhm. So now we're at the end of the bike.
Yeah, now we're
I
at the end of the
loved it.
bike.
I'm smiling. I didn't see my family, but I saw you several times, and I get
Hey,
off the bike.
so I hope you noticed that
Uh-huh.
John and I coordinated where we were standing.
I noticed where you were standing. I thought he was with you, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't. He was at
Yeah.
the finish line, so he could
Uh-huh.
take pictures of you crossing the finish line, and
Neat.
I was a quarter to a third of a mile away, so I
Uh-huh.
could cheer you on your
Are you
way to
talking
the
about at the
finish
end of
line.
the run?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, no, I did notice that. I'm still in my brain at the end of the ride. Yes, at the end of the ride, I think together.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
I thought the on this was the Ruston race.
Mhm.
I thought the bike was very spectator friendly. The run being a single loop run was not.
And it was like trails. It was trails sort of in and around. It was definitely not spectator friendly, the run, based on where it went. Like if you had chosen to not spectate the bike much or like opt out of the second half of spectating the bike and knew where you were going, you could have walked somewhere to see part of the run, but then by the time you walked back to see the finish, it would be like hard to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's we had looked at the run course and we're like,
It wasn't
"Well,
very convenient.
could
Yeah.
we divide and conquer?" And it was like,
Yeah.
by the time we got there, you'd have already been passed.
Yeah. Yeah. And I trust very strongly that the pictures of me on the run would have not been as happy as the pictures of me on the bike with the big smile. I think on the run, I was just what I felt like on the run legitimately is this can't only be a 5K because, well, first of all, other thing I learned is use the auto transition feature on your Garmin for doing triathlon because I had Googled or maybe ChatGPT'd ahead
Mhm.
of time, like, okay, I'm doing a triathlon. How do I do that with my Garmin? And the answer that I got was, okay, so you start triathlon, and then at the end of everything, you hit the lap button. So when you get out of the pool, hit the lap button. When you leave T1, hit the lap button. When you get back from the bike, hit the lap button. When you get out of the transition, hit the lap button. And at the end of the race, hit the lap button. I was like, cool. So mentally, I was like, that's what I have to do. And then I went to the race and I hit triathlon and it gives me this whole screen that's like, hey, we have this new feature. Do you want to do this? And I was like,
Yeah.
no, because I don't, that wasn't my head game. So I didn't do it. And so then what happened is I get in the water, I hit my triathlon thing, I have no idea what happened after that. I thought I hit the lap button all the times, but it recorded my entire race, my entire triathlon as not just a swim, an open water swim. And so it thinks that I swam at 35 miles an hour down Reston Parkway, which I didn't swim.
It was a massive flood with a heck of a current.
And I was kicking. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was crazy, but
But
the consequence was I had no idea how far I had run because when I
yeah.
was doing the run, my watch was just nonsense. It was beeping at me. It was showing me I couldn't even
Were you
understand what
getting
it was
so you have
doing.
a Garmin, right?
Uh-huh. I
Yeah,
was
so you
getting 500
every
yards splits
500
or something.
meters. Yeah, yeah.
It was just giving me these random beeps. I was like, what are you even talking about? I don't know what my watch was doing. So I had no idea
Yeah, you're
how
50,000
far.
meters into your
I
swim.
know. Yeah, I did see that giant distance and I was like, what is this? So didn't know what my watch was doing. And the race it didn't have mile markers either. And I hadn't
Yeah,
looked
that's a little
closely
odd.
enough. Yeah, no mile markers. And I hadn't looked closely enough even at the race course because it was a 5K. I wasn't
Mhm.
really super worried about the run. I knew there was a water stop, but I didn't even know when that was, like distance wise. So the whole time during the run, I don't know how fast I'm going. I don't know how far I've gone. I'm blind. And I swear, I was like, this has to be it. I've definitely run 3 miles. And
Mhm.
then we would turn a corner, I'd be like, oh my God, we're so far from the transition area. Where am I? How far? I was like, I have got to have run 5 miles. I was like, this has got to be 6 miles. I was like, did I miscalculate? Did I read it wrong? Is this a 10K? It felt like the longest 5K of
Yeah.
my entire life, but it was in fact only a 5K at the end of the day.
So, I wanna go back to the
Yeah.
transition because
Okay.
I feel as an experienced triathlete, I feel like every triathlete who cares about data has
Yeah.
been down this path.
Yeah.
And even when you compare different watch brands, like there was I think it was DC Rainmaker maybe, did a thing comparing Chronos, Garmin, and Apple Watch Ultra. I think it might have been like the Ultra, the Garmin Phoenix 7 at the time, and a Chronos. And the results were really interesting because one, you absolutely, if you remember to hit that button and hit it hard enough, you will get better transition times than the watch
Yeah.
will. The
Yeah.
swim to bike, though, the watches are really good at figuring out when that happens because you go from vertical to upright. The transition from bike to run, not so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
but
totally using it in the future. I'm totally using
right.
that auto
But
feature. Yeah.
that's the thing is if you have it on auto, yes, your times might not be perfect,
But they're recording them anyway. The
but they're
race is
recording.
recording. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Right. Your times might not be perfect, but they're going to be close.
Yes, and it's gonna be mostly correct collecting and showing you the right kind of data. Like I mean, thankfully for the bike I was okay because I did start my bike
Mhm.
computer like separately. So my bike computer was doing
Yeah.
it tracked just the bike separately because I started a ride. And so that you actually can see that in that one video you took because I was like, "Ah." And so I like started a ride on my bike so I had my speed, I guess. I don't know what would have happened
Mhm.
if I if I kept it.
Yeah.
But so my bike computer was useful for data, just recognizing how fast that I was going and my cadence. But the run, it was comically useless.
Yeah.
It was like anybody's guess.
So let's see. At Jacksonville, my run, according to my watch, was about a tenth of a mile off from the mile markers, which is not too bad, I feel. Happy Valley, on the other hand, when I hit start, I apparently hit the wrong button. And halfway through the swim, I look at my watch and it's telling me what time it is. Yeah. But like you, my computer captured the bike and I started a run when I started the
We
run.
started a separate run. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have the transition times on my
Right.
watch. So
Yeah.
according to Strava, I'm a
Yeah.
loser and
Uh-huh.
didn't swim in my apparent duathlon and didn't have any transitions. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Well,
weird, it happens.
I don't do Strava, but I did change my 5 billion meter open water swim data in Garmin I think I just changed it to cardio because it was like, okay, it just has a time and it doesn't understand the distance at all, but it had my heart rate. So I just like changed it to that just to keep the data. But I was like, yeah, that's ridiculous.
Are you not able to in Garmin, I thought you could segment it out.
Maybe. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. I don't know. I didn't know what to do with it, so I just
Yeah,
changed it over
yeah.
to that because I was like this on my data screen. I think I showed you this. It has I have this thing that has like my total swimming for the week or whatever, and so
Uh-huh.
because it tracked such a long swim, it's like these bar graphs. So it had my previous swims for the week as like these tiny little blue dots, and then this giant swim because it thought that whole triathlon was a swim. And I was like, oh my
Yeah, it'll
god.
it'll do
Uh-huh.
that. It'll do that.
I was like, "No, I did not swim for, like, whatever, 20
Yeah.
miles."
Yeah, I was trying to think. I think it was my son. He had something happened where he had one split where his, like, mile became, like, 30 seconds,
Yeah,
and now all his metrics are off. I'm like, "Well, you gotta delete it." He's like, "But
you have to delete that.
I don't wanna delete that
Uh-huh.
event." I'm like, well, I mean, then you have to
It's
live with
gonna throw
Strava
off all
thinking
your
that your PR
data.
mile is under 1 minute, which
Uh-huh.
is not physically possible.
No. Yeah.
But
So, yeah, does that happen?
but I will say, like,
Mhm.
I've done a lot of triathlons, and that first mile always feels like a 5K.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like, the course, not only was it unmarked, I had no idea how long I had run or how fast I was running, but it was very hilly. The run course was very hilly, and it
Yeah,
was
well,
hot. Yeah, so it was, like, hills and heat, and for most of the run, it wasn't there weren't a lot of people around, like, there was a few,
mhm.
but it almost felt like just going for a run, like, there was a few other runners, but there weren't a lot, and so you didn't really feel like you were racing. Plus, I like that everybody in the triathlon has their number and their age on their leg, because I was like, "Okay, 27-year-old guy, please pass me, I don't care." You know? Like, "You're
So
allowed to pass me, 27-year-old guy." If there had been like a 48-year-old woman in front of me, that would have lit a bit of a fire, but I didn't see any.
so what's fascinating about that
Uh,
is that is an old world triathlon rule where you
uh-huh.
had to body mark.
Yeah.
We no longer body mark.
You don't do it
So,
in
like,
Ironman at all?
no. So,
Okay.
like, local races
Yeah.
will still do the body marking. Some only do your number, some do
Yeah.
your number and then
And
your
age.
age on the calf. But, yeah, like, I think the only world
I kinda
championships
like the body marking. I don't know. It feels
I do
cool.
too, for the same reason. It's like,
Uh-huh.
you get passed by someone, you're like, yeah, you're 18, I don't care."
I mean, I do that anyway, but normally it's just a guess. It's like, "Oh, you definitely look younger than me," or "You definitely are
Yeah,
a man," like, "So go ahead."
well,
But if it's
yeah.
somebody that's like, you might be my age. Ooh, you look close." Yeah.
Well, yeah, men are
Uh-huh.
generally easy to identify.
Usually. Yeah.
Right, and, yeah, I feel like under 30, you can generally pick out,
I
but,
can tell
like
if you're way younger, but I can't tell if you're 50 or
yeah,
40. Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
and, like, 38 versus 52 can look deceivingly identical.
Totally. Yeah, anywhere in that range looks pretty
Right,
similar.
right,
Yeah. If they had a 38 on their leg, I'd be like, "Go right ahead."
right,
That would be very helpful if they had that kind of thing, so I didn't have to worry. I think we should
yes,
bring it back. Bring back the calf marking.
and if they're a 52, you're like, "Really?"
Mhm. Yeah, okay, fine, pass me. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 although, the race I did this weekend, there was this lady on the run who had to be 15 to 20 years older than me, and we kept, like, going back and forth for the
Leapfrogging.
whole
Yeah.
half marathon, and
Yeah.
afterwards, she turned around and she's like, "You're so consistent," and I'm like, "I know what my
I'm
run was like, and it was not a good
uh
run," and I said
Yeah.
to her, I'm like, "Oh, no, you're super consistent. My goal was for you not to finish in front of me."
You're like, "You kept me going, lady." Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, but, I
Yeah.
mean, I do think it's
That
interesting.
happened. That
Yeah.
happened to me in that 10K that I PR'd not too oh, no, I
Oh,
almost
yeah.
PR'd not too long ago because there was this guy turned out he was 72, but there was this guy who I was running with for, like, the last half of a mile when I was, like,
Mhm.
gassed, and I was like, "I cannot let this guy who looks old enough to be my dad beat me." And so that kept me going, and then I beat him, but I actually don't think I beat him. I think I didn't beat him chip time, but I beat him to the line.
Mm, mhm. Well, but I mean, that's the thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah, you do it in running, you do
Uh,
it I feel even on the bike too, you find people, and on the swim, you find people who are like your
at your pace.
general same pace or slightly
Mhm.
faster, and you just like try to
Yeah.
hold position because, it's a good marker.
Yeah. I find that that's totally true in running races. Like, it's like and that actually didn't happen in this race, that I didn't end up, like, doing the run around people that I was either trying to pass or people like, I was mostly by myself. I mean, I passed some people and some people passed me, but it was like it was kind of thinned out,
I mean,
at that point.
I have an idea why that might be. But
Yeah.
do you wanna share how you finished the race?
I finished it standing
And you
on
did
a hill
what? And
in the age group first.
right.
Yeah.
So there wasn't a lot of people who finished ahead of you.
I mean, yeah, that's true. There were 60 out of the 800 that were ahead of me.
Yeah, and I think, we say, unless you're Lucy, you
Yeah.
don't
Went
win
on the
a
swim.
triathlon in the swim, but you can certainly lose it there, and
Yeah.
you had a reasonable swim.
Yeah.
Wasn't as fast as you wanted it to be, but, like, it wasn't bad,
Yeah. I could have
and
swum faster if I had that pool to myself, but it was fine.
well,
Yeah.
right. Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And everybody
Yeah.
else had
Could have too.
for
Yeah.
for the most part, everybody else had the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
situation that they had to deal with, right? The
Yeah.
crowding,
Yeah.
the whatever. You had a good bike,
Yes.
and you had a pretty reasonable run, right? It wasn't a PR run, but it was a decent run. So, like, I think as a strong athlete, you're an experienced runner. You've been swimming for probably 9 to
6
12 months
months. Yeah,
now,
something like that. Yeah.
and you're out on the bike a lot, and you seem to enjoy it.
I
And
love biking.
but you've
Yeah.
also been, like, consistently doing Peloton for a long time.
Yeah.
So you're a pretty strong cyclist to start with.
Yeah. I got my road bike after like 4 years of a lot
Right.
of Peloton riding. Yeah.
And doing spin and Peloton and things like that
Yeah.
don't teach you bike handling skills,
No. But they
but
make your legs strong.
everything else directly translates.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I wasn't super surprised that you were on the podium knowing how strong of an athlete you are to start with. First place versus second, the gap was a
It
bit
was like
larger
30
than I
seconds.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, it was good. It was I was definitely surprised. I mean, it's not super uncommon for in a local race for me to place in my age group for a run, but the bike, I mean, I haven't biked or swam in a race forever and ever, and so I wasn't even really considering the possibility of being on the podium. So when I finished and you guys told me I got first, I like thought you were joking. I was like,
Well
"Oh, it's funny." No,
well, this, I mean, it's like, chip
yeah.
time, anything.
Yeah.
You don't really know what your placement is
Well,
until the
because
race
people
is
might have
over.
started after me and then
Yeah.
yeah.
You could
Uh-huh,
have,
right.
like, the last guy started, like
Win.
DLS
Yeah,
at Disney end up winning the race based on chip
right.
time.
So you have to wait a while to see if it's what it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, so we
Mhm.
were watching and I'm like, "No, it's not changing.
She's
It's
still
not
first.
changing.
She's
It's
still
not
first.
changing."
Yeah, well, those girls who were in the age group, the other 2 women, they had fast swims, so I'm thinking and they had low numbers, so I feel like they got in the pool quick and they did pretty good swims, and then they probably weren't as fast as me on the bike. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's some trends that fast swimmers tend to have
Mhm.
slower bikes.
I mean, it is sort of like I think it's different ideal anatomy for the 2 sports and, like, different, you
Maybe.
know, ways. I mean, I'm sure there's people who are, like, pretty good at all of them, but you're not gonna I mean, it'd be rare to be, like, an exceptional swimmer and an exceptional
Yeah.
cyclist.
I think if you're like, the ideal triathlete generally
Yeah,
is, like, if you look at, who wins the big
physically.
races,
Yeah,
it's really excellent runners
yeah,
who are really good cyclists
yeah.
and
Reasonable swimmers.
reasonably good to good swimmers, right?
Yeah, yeah,
There's some exceptions, right, where you've got, like, former Olympians or almost Olympians in the swim
yeah,
who then became strong runners and cyclists. But, I mean, look at Taylor, she how many times has been first off the bike and then second on the podium,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and like I actually think it would be annoying to go into triathlon as a swimmer. Like if swimming was your
Mhm.
strength, it would be an
Yeah.
annoying sport because like again, no matter like I mean, I think we're pretty similar. And this was how I always was in triathlon back in the day. Like it was I've gotten better at swimming because I didn't train swimming at all. I used to just get in the water and try it.
Mhm.
Like for I didn't even train swimming. I just swam in triathlons sometimes because I was in my 20s and dumb. And so I would be like the last 10% of the field for the swim and
Mm.
then I would end up on the podium because I would smoke the bike and smoke the run. And so I would pass everybody and like if you were a really good it would be very hard if you were a really, really good swimmer. You could be the first out of the
Yeah.
water. But if you were just an average cyclist, even just an average cyclist, it'd be hard
Yeah.
to like
Well,
do well.
I can't tell you the number of races, and it's the same in the long distance ones, where I'm in, like, the front 10% getting out of the water, maybe the front 15%,
Yeah.
and then
No,
first off the bike, and, you spend 3 to 6 hours passing people, and at some point, you're like, "How are you in front of me?"
yeah, yeah.
Because, like, you know, there was
Well,
one
especially
where
if you were quick off the swim, because when
right.
I do it, I'm like, I'm passing all these people because I'm like, oh, yeah, I almost drowned. So, okay, that's why you're in front of me. You can probably swim. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think it was, Jacksonville. I had a good swim. It wasn't what I expected or hoped, but it was a good swim. It was still a PR swim for me.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, in a full IM, it was a
Hmm.
PR swim. I was shooting for, like, 59, and it was, like, 109,
That's great.
but I was
You
expecting there
really
to be
shoot for the stars, man. You're like
yeah,
you're like, "I wanna beat my PR by more than 10 minutes."
well, but I was expecting based on what they were telling us, a stronger
Yeah.
downstream
Yes.
downriver current.
Yeah.
And it turns out that, I started what, like in the first 3 minutes of the race?
You started right away, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out that had I started a half hour later, I probably actually would have had a faster swim because the current picked up over time,
Yeah.
but who knew?
So your swim
But
was
then
good.
but
PR
then on
swim.
the bike for the whole way out and then the entirety of the first loop, I was passing people. By the time I ended the first loop, which would have been like around mile
How many loops
6
was it?
it was so it was a 20-mile out, and then I think it was like a 32 mile loops, and then you rode back. And by the end of the first loop, which is like mile 60-ish, I was still passing people. And I'm like, "How are you that far in front of me?" And it's just like really good swimmers who aren't as
Are also
good on the bike.
decent bikers, but they're
Yeah,
decent
yeah.
enough that they're still like, it took you a while to catch them.
Right,
Yeah.
and like a full distance Ironman is long enough that
Oh my
in
god,
that
so long.
in that situation, like, you eventually end up in a place where you're no longer passing people because everyone who's in front of you is faster than you or the same speed, and
Yeah.
everyone behind you is slower
Slower.
or the
That's what
same
happens
speed.
in a long run race usually.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
pass a lot of people in the beginning or they pass you, but then once once you get into 10K plus in a run
yeah,
race, like, it kind assuming it's not loops, then you end up kind of with people about your pace.
yeah, I feel like in a marathon around, like, 10 to 15K, you've
Yeah.
kinda settled
You've kind
in.
of settled into, like, groups that are roughly the same speed, which is nice because then it's like you can be a little competitive and try to catch the person in front of you, but they're not flying faster than you, and it's also like,
Right.
you know, it keeps you
Yeah, and
good.
that's when you can
But
find people that can pull you
yes,
because they're faster than you, but they're not, like,
that much faster.
so
It's
much
not
faster that you
hopeless.
yeah, yeah.
You're like, "I'm
It's
never gonna catch that guy." Yeah,
yeah, it's like
uh-huh.
there's a difference between a stretch
Yeah,
and just, like, not possible.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Okay,
Mhm.
so what would you say are your top 3 learnings or takeaways from this first
Mm.
sprint experience?
Do my watch different
Okay.
because I did not like being blind on the run, so I do not wanna be
Isn't it
blind on
isn't
the
it
run
funny how,
anymore.
like, that's where we notice it?
Yeah. because I had no way to pace myself at all. Because I wasn't blind on the bike anyway because of my computer, but like
Mhm.
being blind on the run, I hated. So, and it made it worse. I would have felt much better had I been able to tell where I was. So that was probably number one, is get my watch right. And probably even if it were to happen again and I start the run and my watch isn't, I would probably just stop whatever it is and just start a run. Like, even if
Mhm.
that takes me 5 seconds, like, or 10, like, I'd probably do that just to not feel so like, what am I doing? When is this over? How
Yeah.
far have I gone? This is chaos. So I didn't like that. So that was number one. Number two would be, let's see, I don't know. The swim, I mean, I just think I have to get more confident at it, but also less nervous. Like, I think I would have had a better swim if I was less like stressed and if I had been calmer, and maybe that just comes with experience. But I think if I were calmer in it and just sort of like not, because my heart rate and my anxiety, it wasn't even anxiety, it was just adrenaline. I was just like amped and that made it hard to swim. And so if I had been just kind of like, okay, this is a fun game. I'm going to
Mhm.
see if I can get through this pack of people swimming. See if I can swim around and through this pack of people as fast as I can. Fun game. Like, let's
I'd
just
love
try
to
it.
say that the nerves go away, but they
Uh-huh.
don't,
Yeah,
but
no.
they get more manageable.
Yeah, I would assume. Well, because there's
Me
like there's nerves of the situation, but then there's also like the nerves of the new. So I think once it's like like that's the same a running race. Like, I'm never not nervous before a run
Right.
race, but it's so not novel that I'm not like, it's different. It's just like it's adrenaline, but you're not like
Yeah,
scared.
and you've developed coping mechanisms for a run you haven't yet for the try. I mean, you know my coping mechanism well at this point,
The dancing, is that
the
it?
dance.
Yeah. Uh-huh. That's
Just
probably
get
what it
very
is.
just get very
Uh-huh.
bouncy.
Yeah, you bounce a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I've been told by race announcers to be
Chill
less
out.
bound.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh. You and Chad, you just bounce together in the
No,
beginning of the
see,
race.
cat is a
Uh-huh.
whole
He's a
different
he's
level.
a whole different
I'm like,
animal
"I'm
with the
just
mountain mouth.
bouncy."
He's full on dancing for like 2
He
hours.
is
Yeah.
I do not know how that man has that much energy.
No. No, I thought, and talk about, how you can't tell how old somebody is? I
Uh-huh.
thought forever, and for context, everybody who hasn't listened to all of the episodes Jill's had that I've been on, Chad is a mutual Run Disney friend who spends the beginning of the races with us, and he dances and is full of
He's
exuberance,
he was
for
on
like 2
the
hours.
I think
He
he
was
was
on
on
one of the race recap episodes, the
yeah, I think it
marathon
was the
weekend.
marathon weekend, yeah.
Yeah, he was, because we did that at Animal Kingdom when
Mhm.
with you. Yeah. But anyway, he's an energy ball, and I assumed that he was like 25 because of his energy. He's my age. We're like the same age. And I was like, "What?
Yep,
No.
yep,
What? No, you're like 25 with all that like bounciness. No." And then I looked more closely. I was like, "Oh, he has gray hair too. What? How are you so old and so energetic?" So,
and
yeah.
Chad, who I know listens to the podcast, we're not calling
Yeah.
you old, just for
No,
clarity.
we're calling you looking very young. You look
Yes,
incredibly young for your age. Your
yes.
age is a shock. I think maybe you're lying to place higher in events. That might be the thing that's happening, because how are you not 25? Yeah. 30. I thought he was 30. Let's be real. I didn't quite think he was 25. I mean, he was an
Mhm.
adult, but not like a old enough to have a
Alright, so
teenager
we
in.
got, I think, 2
Yeah.
learnings, right?
Two learnings: the watch
The
and the
watch, the
swim. Try
swim,
to relax.
anxiety, and what's the 3rd one?
Third one. I mean, oh, maybe dress better. I don't that I need to get a tighter, better fitting tri-suit thing. I need to get a Be Fierce and Try themed, appropriately fitted tri-suit so that I don't have bunching and whatever, all of that I did have.
Mhm, mhm.
Mhm.
So what you're saying is
Mhm.
that our listeners should
Yeah.
join the Be Fierce and Try Club so that we can place an
Yeah.
order for new kit.
Yeah. Because you need enough people, right? You need like a number to order.
Yeah, and,
Mhm.
Barlow was the supplier this year,
Mhm.
and I was talking to them. We're out at Happy Valley, and the Barlow tent was, like,
Yeah.
basically directly behind ours,
Oh,
so
nice.
we were chatting with him,
Chatting.
I'm like, "Yeah, so we're forming a new club." He's like, "Another one?" I'm like, "Well, it's more an expansion of
Yeah.
the athlete team,
Yeah.
but into a more social club as well, right?"
Yeah.
And so, we may end up placing an order on speculation that people will join this
Mhm.
team, but so far,
Yeah.
word of mouth seems to be getting out.
Yeah.
Which is good, which is
It
good.
is good. And I got some of your merch, and I trust you anyway because you always get like really nice stuff. You always know your stuff, like your gear. Like if you think it's a good thing, it probably is. And so your even just your singlet is really nice.
which I'm
So I'm sure
wearing.
it'll be good. Yeah,
If you're
I have
watching
that
the
one.
video,
Yes, I have that
and
singlet and I love it. It's very nice quality. So I'm sure
I'm
whatever tri-suit you pick will also be very nice.
I'm very firmly in the camp of spend wisely and spend once.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm learning this about things because I have often made the go cheap and then get another one mistake.
Well,
Yeah.
that is actually one of the challenges with, I think, being a newbie in any sport, but triathlon especially
This
is
is stuff.
it is an expensive sport to start with, right? Just equipment, like even if you're buying a used bike, you're
Mhm.
still investing quite a bit versus
Right.
like just running
Yeah.
or swimming, on their own would be much
Yeah.
less. I mean, certainly there's other expensive sports like
Yeah.
hockey,
For
has a
sure.
big investment in equipment. And then you're continually investing in, the maintenance of that equipment
Yeah.
and you have all the expenses of running, all the same expenses of swimming, and then you have to maintain your bike, which wears much
Mhm.
faster than
Mhm.
a casual rider, but about the same
Yeah.
as any other cyclist.
Yeah.
Actually, probably more because if in competition with
Mhm.
all of the drinks and everything, the
Yeah. Yeah.
electrolytes going down,
Yeah.
I on my race bike, I end up replacing the headset about once a year, and it's just
Jeez. The
the
sweat.
salt fro
Yeah.
it's more
Mhm.
the salt from the
From
water
the
bottles.
electrolytes. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
it just it's a harsh environment. And it's funny, the actual bearings are cheap. It's the
Yeah.
labor to replace the bearings that aren't.
This is why you've learned to do all these things.
It
Yeah.
is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so and then, it like saddles,
Yeah.
a lot of people, they just, like, buy saddles, don't like it, buy another one, don't like it,
Yeah.
buy another one, and then bike fits are the same way, and if you've got a great bike fitter, maybe you can avoid the saddle
Yeah.
expenses and just go straight to the right one, but,
It all
maybe
adds up. But I
yeah, it
am
goes
like
really fast.
I mean, I signed up for I was a runner. I signed up for the triathlon or decided I was going to do it. I started training swimming because that's easy enough. You just need a cap and goggles and a swimsuit, like fine. Started doing that, but then I was waiting for spring to get a road bike because I was
Mhm.
pelotoning, but I was like, I'm definitely not going to start my road bike training in January. So I waited and I went in spring, but I had already like started the triathlon training and signed up and I knew I was going to do it. And I went to the bike shop intending to buy a relatively low end road bike, like,
Yeah, it
because
seems
I
to
was like,
it's I seem to remember you asking me like, "Hey, do you have any leads on some used bikes?" And then you come home with a decidedly not used bike.
right. Well, so the used bike thing stressed me out because then there's no like Carfax on it. So I was like, I don't know. I don't want to bother. And none of them are like that cheap. Like if they're that cheap, then they look cheap. And if they look nice, they're not that cheap. And so then I was like, well, I mean, I don't, so I was going to buy aluminum, like not expensive road bike, like not a fancy one. And I test rode it. And I was like, I mean, I had already done my research. Like I was pretty much ready to throw down the money and buy this bike. And the guy, I mean, I owe it all to the shop guy, the guy at the store that was like, hey, so do you see this one over here? It happens to be in your size. And I was like, I remember when I looked at it, I was like, in my head, I thought, well, that's cute. Like, there's no way that is a fancy bike. Like, I'm not here to buy that bike. And I test drove the first one and he was like, I'm just going to set it up. He's like, I'm going to put pedals on it. Just take it for a spin.
Mhm.
Just take it for a spin. And I like, for once, because usually my psychology is like, don't spend too much money. Like, don't, like, you're not, like, this is, you're beginner. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, I already had a plan. It was very unusual for me to make this kind of decision in this kind of situation. But I was like, I'm buying the nice one. And it helped because it was on sale. If it hadn't been on sale, I probably wouldn't have done it. But he was like, this is a really good deal. And I was like, is it? And I trusted him. And then I found out it was a really good deal because I have another friend who's a serious biker who was like, no, you got that for cost. Like they didn't make any money. Like you got this for like
I
whatever the
think you
dealer
actually
pays
got a
for it.
below cost, yeah.
I got it below cost. I got a really good deal. And so I'm a sucker for a deal. But I'm so glad that I got the really nice bike because if I hadn't, I would be in the market for a really nice bike right now. Like 4 months later, I would be like, I need a nicer bike than this.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sad truth is, once you start improving, then you outgrow the equipment you have.
Yeah.
And like at first you feel like you're buying equipment that you don't deserve maybe because it's more than you're capable of.
Yeah.
But
You grow
eventually,
into
like,
it.
yeah, you grow into it.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, more expensive equipment in this sport
Some of
often,
it can be really expensive. Yeah.
yes,
Uh-huh.
but the more expensive equipment, the higher end bikes often are faster than, the a lower end, cheaper bike. And it doesn't mean you can't win your race with the cheaper bike, but it's going to take more.
Yeah. I'm very
Yeah.
glad. I love my bike. I'm,
Yeah.
like I'm
Marginal
pretty
gains.
attached. I'm pretty attached to her. We have, you know yeah, I rode her today. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
okay. So you've got two that are coming up.
Yes. Well,
Women's
3
Philadelphia women's or women's Philadelphia.
yeah, that's in July, and you'll be there too, and that one is it's another sprint shorter, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
It's shorter than the one I just did, but it looks fun, so that'll be good, and then, I have the Olympic in Chicago.
Mhm.
And speaking of my bike, I've rented a bike to ride there, so I don't have to ship mine or fly with it or hand it over. I told you I don't even like handing my luggage over to the, airline check people,
Mhm.
so I don't think I would probably just be crying
That
the whole time I'm on the
yeah.
bike. I mean, in the plane, knowing that they have my bike, and what if they lose it, and what if it gets hurt? I would just be crying. So, I'm renting a bike in Chicago for that triathlon, and
Flying
then
with a bike is one of the most stressful things.
so stressful, and yeah, especially not when you have attachment issues, like, I just love her too much, so, I'm renting one, and then I'm supposed to have another Olympic in September run by the same people who did this rest and try, but the scuttlebug is they're canceling it, but I haven't gotten any word yet that they are, so I think they are based on what people have been saying, so I think it's gonna get canceled because they haven't had enough people sign up, so if you're in the DC area and you're thinking about it, sign up now because they need like 400 more people. And so to make it like them able to run it. So I think that one's going
And
to get canceled. So then I think I'm going to sign up maybe for that Waterman one in October, which would be like a week later than the Reston's supposed to be if Reston gets canceled.
one has a sprint. I think that has sprint Olympic and
It
70.3,
does. I would do the Olympic.
the Olympic.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I did that a couple years ago. The swim was cold,
Yeah, it's October
but
in
it's
yeah,
Maryland, so the bike
yeah,
it's Eastern Maryland, so the bike was
yeah,
super flat. I I don't think there was a hill at all, and the run was super flat. It was all through
yeah,
developments,
yeah.
and my family didn't know it at the time, like because they didn't look at the map,
Right.
but the run is actually very spectator friendly on that one.
Nice. Okay.
Yes, it's a multi-loop,
Yeah.
and if as a spectator you walk about 2 blocks in one direction, you can see your athlete probably 6 times.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and as a spectator, you have to walk back and forth between, like, 2 blocks, but the way the run works is, like, it's a big oval, and if you're, like, in the middle of the oval, it's easy to walk from one
Well,
side
that
to
totally makes sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you can do
yeah,
that. Uh-huh.
right, where
Yeah,
they have, like, 5K,
right.
you as the spectator have
You just go back and
maybe
forth. Yeah,
yeah,
couple
maybe a
blocks.
quarter mile tops.
Yeah, I think I already booked a hotel reservation for that race just in case because it's in the middle of,
Mhm.
like, nowhere. So I was like, "Well, I wanna have a hotel in case I decide to do it." I'll sign up as soon as I get word from Reston that it's canceled, but I haven't yet, so we'll see.
I feel like
Yeah.
you'd be a good travel agent. You're always on top of the travel,
Yes.
I need someone to book hotels for Kona, Nice,
Yeah.
all my Disney trips next year.
I mean, really what it is I don't like the anxiety of not having it done. Because if I'm committed to a thing, like I'm committed to doing a race, whatever it is, like I want to make sure that the travel is manageable. Like I can afford it, like I have it booked, like I know what
Yeah,
I'm doing. And like I don't want to get stuck where it's like, oh, now the flights are $1,000 to get to whatever. Or now like there's no hotels that are affordable and I can either stay
yeah,
at like Motel 6 or like the Ritz. Like I need to like not have that as a question mark.
yeah, and I'm the opposite. I'm like, I just hate having that sitting on my credit card.
Well, yeah, no. Well, I don't most of it I don't pay ahead, except I do pay the flights ahead, but because you have to pay that.
Yeah,
But most of the hotels, I almost never pay ahead for hotels.
alright. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
we will catch up again, I think,
Yeah.
after your next sprint and follow your
Hmm.
journey. because I feel like you're heading towards a 70.3 at some point in the not distant future.
Right now, my plan is North Carolina in 2027.
Carolina 2027.
That's the
That's a
one
lot
that,
of training time between now and then.
yeah, yeah. And the truth is, I'm pretty close to, I probably could do one this year if I wanted
Mhm.
to. Like my training is up to the point that I probably could, but it's
Hey,
a
well,
lot.
I'm trying to form a relay team. I wanna
Uh-huh.
do I got it in my head the other day. I'm like, "I wanna do a relay at one of these."
I would do a relay 70.3.
Yeah,
I could do
because
any of the disciplines. I would be fine. I could do that, the run or the bike or the swim.
was what I'm thinking is, I've been, trying to get vendor booths at,
Yeah.
for bee fairs at some of these events, and I'm like, manning a vendor booth and then going and doing a race is a lot
Yeah, it
'cause
is.
there's no rest,
Right.
and you're out in the sun for
Yeah.
so long. But I'm like, "But I could do a relay."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
"Huh, okay,
Name
what
the
race?"
70.3, man. I'll do it.
Yeah, so I've
Huh?
actually been thinking about trying to get a
Yeah.
I wanted to do Ironman Maryland, but apparently they're not doing relays this year.
Oh,
So,
really? That's interesting. It's
yeah,
also a date that conflicts with something. I don't remember what it conflicts with.
it's
Oh,
the
it
same
conflicts
date
with
as
Philly distance. Yeah. The Philly
yeah,
distance thing or the
Reston.
rest and try. Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm looking at Haines City as maybe another option.
Where the heck is that?
It's 20 minutes from Orlando, and it's the first week in December.
Shoot. I have a Disney cruise that week, but it might be right after. Okay, we'll talk.
We'll talk. We'll talk.
We'll talk. That sounds like a
All
plan.
right. On that
Uh-huh.
note, congratulations again,
Thanks. Thanks for all
and
your help and thanks for coming to cheer because that was awesome. It made it so much better.
I was so excited. I'll be honest, my daughter wasn't excited about
Of
7
course
hours
she
of
wasn't.
driving in one day, but
Yeah.
Don
Uh-huh.
and I were super happy to be there,
Yeah. It was so nice of you to be.
and,
Yeah.
I look forward to having you at some of my races at some point.
Totally. And back on the
But
show to talk
all
more.
right.
All right.
So, on that note, thank you, Sharon. Congratulations on both your finish and your podium. And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to continuing to follow your triathlon journey. And that's, as they say, a wrap for today's episode of the Be Fierce and Try podcast. I'm Jill Bartholomew. I hope that what you heard today was interesting, inspiring, and that this episode helped you to think smarter, train differently, and show up with more intention. Make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss what's next. And if you are looking for support on your journey to your next start or finish line, I would love to work with you. Here at Be Fierce Multisport, we work with athletes of all abilities, and you can learn more about coaching, training plans, bike fittings, and everything else that we are building at Be Fierce Multisport at the site, befiercemultisport.com. Until next time, train with purpose, execute with intention. And as always, be fierce and be you.